Have you ever poured your entire being into a relationship, a friendship, a family dynamic, only to find yourself feeling utterly depleted, overlooked, and strangely poor? Not necessarily in finances, but in the most profound currency of all, your emotional capital, your time, your very essence. You've given your boundless kindness, your unwavering support, your deep empathy, expecting perhaps a glimmer of the same in return. Instead, you're left with the hollow echo of unreciprocated effort, a sense of being taken for granted, and the gnawing question, why does my generosity often leave me feeling so devalued? This isn't about you being inherently flawed, my dear. This is about a fundamental misunderstanding of the subtle, yet brutal laws governing the economy of human affection. We have been conditioned, particularly as women, to believe that limitless emotional giving is the path to gratitude, to love, to connection. We've been told that being good, being nice, being always there will eventually lead to appreciation. But in the ruthless, unwritten ledger of human interaction, this rarely rings true. In fact, it often achieves the precise opposite. It generates indifference, it fosters exploitation, and it leaves you, the generous giver, emotionally impoverished. Consider for a moment the foundational principles of value, as articulated by thinkers like Adam Smith. What is truly valued in any market? Scarcity, desirability, difficulty of acquisition. What then becomes of something that is freely available, endlessly supplied, and requires no effort to obtain? It becomes undervalued. It becomes background noise. It becomes, in essence, oxygen. Think about oxygen. It is undeniably the most vital element for our existence. We cannot survive without it. Yet, how often do you consciously appreciate the air you breathe? You don't. It's always there, abundant, free, effortlessly available. It's only when that oxygen is scarce, when you find yourself gasping for breath, perhaps at high altitude or in a suffocating space, that its immeasurable value suddenly becomes shockingly apparent. You would pay anything for it then. You would fight for it. Its absence reveals its true worth. Now translate this brutal, elegant truth to your emotional landscape. When you become the emotional oxygen for everyone in your life, always available, always understanding, always forgiving, always sacrificing, always giving without asking, you effectively diminish your own perceived value. You become essential, yes, but in the same way, oxygen is essential, unacknowledged, unappreciated, until you begin to disappear. Your presence is expected, your absence is inconvenient, but your worth is rarely celebrated. People become accustomed to your limitless supply, and like the air around us, they simply breathe you in without a second thought. They rely on you certainly, but they don't value you in the way they would something rare, something hard-won, something exclusive. This isn't an indictment of human nature. It's an observation of its predictable patterns. We are wired to cherish what is scarce, to strive for what is difficult, to guard what is precious. When you make yourself endlessly abundant, you inadvertently communicate that you are not precious, not scarce, not difficult to obtain. You send a subtle, unconscious signal that your emotional labor, your time, your deep wells of empathy are limitless and therefore inexpensive. And what happens to that which is inexpensive and abundant? It's consumed without thought. It's used up, often carelessly, because there's always more where that came from. This is why you find yourself feeling used, taken for granted, drained. You have become the limitless well from which everyone draws, without ever having to dig for themselves, without ever having to contribute to its replenishment. They don't mean to be malicious, perhaps, but they will exploit the resource you so freely offer, simply because it is there. This brings us to a crucial pivot, a necessary act of strategic self-preservation, the installation of the velvet rope in your life. Imagine a luxurious club, exclusive and alluring. At its entrance, there's a velvet rope, a subtle but unmistakable boundary. It doesn't scream, "No entry." It whispers, "Entry by invitation, entry by merit, entry by alignment." It signifies that not everyone is granted access. There is a standard, there is discernment. This velvet rope is not about arrogance, it is about reverence for your own precious resources. Your emotional capital, your time, your serenity, your unique wisdom, these are not an open buffet for anyone who wanders by. They are finite, potent, and utterly invaluable. Installing a velvet rope means you become the discerning curator of your own inner sanctum. It means you carefully select who gets VIP access to your deepest emotional reserves, to your most unwavering support, to the precious hours of your life. It means understanding that giving your everything to everyone is not generosity. It is, in the strategic sense, poor resource management. It's akin to a queen giving away her kingdom's treasury to every beggar at the gate, only to find herself impoverished and powerless. This velvet rope is a filter, a sophisticated mechanism to identify and gently, but firmly, redirect the emotional parasites, the energy vampires, the transactional relationships that only take without giving. How do you implement this? It begins with strategic discernment. Before you automatically say yes, before you rush to solve someone's problem, before you pour out your heart, pause, observe. Ask yourself, is this person truly reciprocating? Do they demonstrate genuine respect for my time and energy? Have they earned this level of access? This isn't about becoming cold or uncaring. It's about becoming strategically warm. It's about directing your radiant warmth towards those who genuinely appreciate it, who reflect it back, who contribute to the shared glow, rather than those who simply absorb it and walk away, leaving you in the cold. You are not a human heater, perpetually generating warmth for others at your own expense. You are a source of light, and you choose carefully where that light shines brightest. Machiavelli, in his astute observations of power dynamics, warned against the perils of excessive generosity. While his focus was on princes and political power, the underlying psychological truth is equally applicable to the economy of affection. He argued that a prince who is too generous with his own resources will soon find himself impoverished and despised. To maintain his reputation for generosity, he would then be forced to burden his subjects, leading to hatred. The lesson? True generosity, the kind that sustains power and influence, or in our case, self-worth and genuine connection, is not indiscriminate. It is strategic, it is calibrated. It is given where it will yield not necessarily a return, but at least respect, appreciation, and a reinforcement of your inherent value, rather than its erosion. When you are too good, when you are relentlessly giving, you often inadvertently become less respected, not more. People may appreciate your helpfulness in the moment, but they rarely attribute true value to something they can acquire so easily, so consistently, without effort or investment on their part. The recipient of your boundless giving may even feel a subconscious burden of unreciprocated debt, which, over time, can morph into resentment or avoidance. It is a peculiar, almost perverse truth. What is freely given is often freely devalued. So, how do you reclaim your power, your value, your emotional sovereignty? You must begin to cultivate scarcity, not scarcity of kindness, but scarcity of undifferentiated access. You learn the elegance of strategic silence. You learn to observe more than you react. You learn to listen without immediately offering a solution. You learn the profound power of holding back. When you don't immediately jump in to fix, to soothe, to rescue, you create a vacuum. And in that vacuum, several powerful things happen. First, you allow others the dignity and opportunity to solve their own problems, to find their own solutions, to step up and exert their own effort. This, ironically, is a far greater act of long-term support than perpetual rescuing. Second, you force a different kind of engagement. If someone truly values your input, your presence, your support, they will learn to seek it out, to earn it, to appreciate it when it is given. They will no longer take it as a given, like the air they breathe. This strategic silence also offers you invaluable information. It reveals who truly seeks connection versus who merely seeks consumption. It separates those who are genuinely invested in you from those who see you as a convenient resource. It allows you to discern who is willing to walk through the velvet rope, to meet you halfway, to invest their own emotional currency into the relationship. This shift isn't about manipulation in a malicious sense. It's about becoming an architect of your own value. It's about understanding the subtle mechanics of human esteem and using that knowledge not to exploit others, but to protect your precious self and attract relationships that are genuinely reciprocal, respectful, and enriching. You are a mature woman, rich with experience, wisdom, and a profound inner landscape. Your time is no longer an endless expanse. It is a precious commodity. Your energy is a refined fuel, not to be squandered on those who do not honor its source. Embrace the strength of being an exiled queen who, having once given her riches indiscriminately, has learned the harsh lessons of vulnerability and exploitation. She has now returned to her throne, wiser, more discerning, and fiercely protective of her kingdom, her inner self. She doesn't rule with an iron fist, but with an unshakable serenity, a quiet confidence that signals her worth without having to demand it. She understands that true power comes not from giving everything away, but from wisely governing what she possesses. This journey is about reclaiming your worth, not by demanding it, but by strategically embodying it, by installing your velvet rope, by cultivating intelligent scarcity, by understanding the profound truth that your emotional capital is a finite, valuable resource. You transform yourself from emotional oxygen into a radiant, rare jewel. Your presence will be sought, your counsel valued, and your affection cherished, precisely because it is not given lightly. You become magnetic, not because you are always giving, but because you are discerning, sovereign, and ultimately deeply valuable. Are you ready to stop being the endlessly available oxygen and begin cultivating your radiant, rare scarcity? Are you prepared to install your velvet rope, to protect your precious emotional capital, and to reclaim your sovereign power in the economy of affection? If so, I invite you to join a pact of resistance, a growing community of unshakable women who understand that true generosity begins with strategic self-preservation. This is where we learn to invest our emotional wealth wisely, to discern true connection from mere consumption, and to stand firmly in our profound, unshakable value. Share your journey in the comments below. Subscribe to join our ranks. Let us build a formidable collective of women who no longer allow their boundless hearts to leave them poor.